big and so secret. We've got to hide it under 1,000 tons of reinforced concrete.
Listen, this is, Tony Prince. I'll cut straight to the chase. I heard you were a savvy investor, shall we say? Yes, I like that, a savvy investor. I'm not such a savvy investor. I was gonna open up a chain of venues, only that's all gone to shit. Again, but head over to foreclosures.mazebank.com and buy one out of foreclosure. I can open you the best nightclub in the whole state, any of them, seriously.
Serve a known felon. I'm sorry. Weather, for all your private security needs. How can I help? Thank you. A helicopter is on its way.
This place is fucked. What the fuck? Oh shit, no!
Quite a digital footprint you're making. You don't mind my saying so. Little foolish. Anyway, there's only one thing an operator like you needs right now, and that's doomsday protection. Really, there's a lot more to the underground bunker we just put up on Maze Bank foreclosures, including business opportunities, but that's part of it. Log on, take a look, and buy it. You won't regret it.
Get back out of the way!
Calling for some wheels? I'm Johnny on the spot. I'll hook you up. I'll bring it by.
Hi, it's Paige Harris. I work with Lester Crest. I basically run things over there while he takes credit. Anyway, I've got a new sideline you might be interested in. High-end scores, taken elegantly, using the latest tech. Only problem, you'd need somewhere to store our nerve center. If you ever start a club with Tony Prince, I'll give you another call.
Hey, I can't say too much because they're listening. But there's more to those hangars on Maze Bank foreclosures than you might...
Listen, Tony Prince again? The Tony Prince? You know me. Mason at 9. The nightclub Prince of Liberty City. Of course you know. Like I said, I need help. I need help pretty badly. Things have turned to shit in my life again. I was launching a brand, a franchise, but now I'm dying here. The deal fell through, and all the properties are up for sale. Please, for the love of all that is unholy and unpleasant and desperate and needy, buy one, and we will open up the best nightclub the West Coast has ever seen. And we will launder more dirty cash than you thought possible. Foreclosures.mazebank.com. That's where you want to go.
Hello? Can I help? Let me see what I can do.
No digas eso, mijo. Breaks my heart to hear you say that about me. No es verdad. What am I supposed to do? Your nice, lazy father expends the money on cars and tequila.
So, Mr. Crest said we should talk about work. But not here. Is there a room in the back or something? Cool, I'll get set up. So, Mr. Crest said you might be able to help me out with something. Well, not me, so that's clear. It's not me you're going to be helping. And I want it understood that I am not involved. Just a bystander doing a favor. And this is not an offer of employment so much as an opportunity. And, well, anyway, that's just getting a bit technical, but the point is, sometimes our fair and legal justice system makes mistakes. And this is one such time. Here he is, Professor Maxim Rashkovsky. You know the professor? Used to be head of research for the Army. 3 doctorates. Overconfident polymath, vain sociopath, tedious egomaniac, control freak, geneticist, weapons development, engineer, car nut, but definitely not a people person. Accused of espionage along with everything else? You don't remember? Well, lucky you. Exceedingly vain and self-absorbed man, brilliant at everything he does, yada yada yada, makes you want to puke. He's a goddamn traitor. I mean, he's a rat, but he pays. Incarcerated for a crime he did commit, but, well, let's just say money talks and he's going to walk. So, we got a few things to get ready, all pretty straightforward. Do them one at a time, but any way you like. Standard op for a gov-fact breakout, if you know what I mean. Rad. All right, first thing's a plane. Then we got a bus, and then, well, 2 things. We got the inmate transfer schedule and Rashkovsky's car. More on that later. Let me show you. We need a plane to get the professor out of the country. It's currently being used to traffic drugs by a transnational street gang, the Vagos. The bus. We need a standard Bolingbrook transport vehicle. The least traffic is on the route from Paleto Bay. All right? That's where you're going to be able to get a hold of one. You can get a hard copy of the inmate transit schedule at the LSPD's Mission Row station. Go in unarmed, play it cool. You might not have a problem. That's a 2-person job, max. The other 2-hander is our guy's prize Casco. We believe it's about to be shipped to Korea by a luxury car theft ring. Okay. Mr. Crest said you guys are at least semi-competent, so, well, Professor Rashkovsky pays well.
4, the airfield is under Vago's control. They're using the plane to make trafficking runs across the border. That means it's already set up to take Reshkovsky out of the country. Limited radar visibility, plausible cover story. It's perfect. Don't let the fact that there are a bunch of angry drug dealers waiting for you affect how you go in, or actually do. Some more background on the Vagos. Okay. Globalized, multinational, decentralized criminal network. Their principal interest is in drug trafficking, but they've diversified into mid-level distribution, end-user sales, and trafficking other contraband. You get caught with a kilo of coke, they throw the book at you. You're caught with a quart of capybara semen, it's a slap on the wrist. And the market for large endangered rodent ejaculate is lucrative. Most of the Vagos' upper management is shot callers, if you like, are already incarcerated here in the States and throughout Central and Latin America. They run the network on cell phones, and it's a relatively flat hierarchy at the top. So if you cut one head off, there's 6 more waiting to bite. Not that I want to dismantle any criminal networks. As you know, I'm a criminal myself. I just like to do my homework. Criminal homework. The prison angle's gonna help us sell our raid on Bolingbroke. It's not something that they would do, but it's the kind of thing the authorities believe that they would do, which is all that really matters. You get me? Okay.
Why you tried to take my Charger, man? You could have rolled in it, but you couldn't drive the Charger. Oh, you couldn't drive the Hemi, my man. To kick you about that bitch. No way, Jose. You like that bitch, though. That bitch fast as fuck, ain't it? Supercharged Hemi in that bitch.
Y'all need to leave that man alone, officer. Watch this. Look at this. Watch this. Y'all mess with that man. What do you... Don't play that bullshit. Look, I'm out the street. Now what's the reason, officer? I'm out the street. Now it's having a good day. Quit that bullshit and stop drinking dick, man. Stop drinking dick. You seen that 500 subscribers, nigga? I am on the street. You see that subscribers, nigga? Stop playing with me. Get another blunt for me, nigga. Please. What you talking about? You talking that bullshit. Don't talk the bullshit to me. We just cool the other day. Don't talk the bullshit to me. Just told me to get out the street. Why you looking like that? What you making the face at me for? Tell me. What you making the face at me for? I'm right here. I'm stopped. Now what? Because you want to do a false accusation? Exactly. What you want to do? What you want to do? Exactly what? Exactly what? Exactly what, officer? Exactly what, officer? Exactly what,
Hang on, hit my nigga, man.
That's your next. You go get it. That's your next. That's your next.
I ran a nigga over by mistake, man. Damn.
Hey, bro.
He went right into that bitch.
I'm gonna ask you before I start recording. I don't want this recording. Bro, what they was trying to lock you up for, bro? Lock him up. Hey, bro, nah, bro. Just go back across the street.
Hey, don't touch him. I'm about to go get that white shirt.
Terrible, man. Look, terrible. You see what I'm saying? So, okay. We're on the scene once again. I don't know what the hell. Walking with the Bay kids. But they got the street all blocked.
Potential cut 19,000. I can deal with that.
Couple detectives on the scene. I ain't no
I'm trying to get in. Hold on. Let me let you in. Hold on. There you go. There you go. Go on, get in, nigga. You could have got in, but all right.
Did you get this car? Don't worry. Don't worry. Right here, this car right here. I was asking. That's what I was just asking. Did y'all get that car? I just want to know. What you about to say though? Okay, I'm ready. Down the street. Once you engage these bastards, there's only one way this is going. Make a plan, then execute it. No matter how good the plan is, expect sustained resistance. Maintaining the integrity of the plane is the priority here. Don't rush this. Looks like a shit show down there. Clear the airstrip before you think about taking that bird into the sky. If the plane gets shot up, I'm back to Alpha. Keep it up down there. The more noise you make at the airstrip, the more plausible the story becomes.
Damn, somebody died already?
Okay. And I want that person that I'm dealing with to be safe. Okay. Now, if you distracted me from doing what I'm doing, right? And he do something that I would deem aggressive, because I'm dealing with you, right? You can cause harm to come to him or to me. All right. Correct? I understand. Okay, and that's all I'm saying. I understand. I'm an understanding person. Once I finish doing what I'm doing, if you want to rap, we can rap all day long. All right. All right. So what you're saying is I be distracting and investigating. Right. That's what I'm saying. Okay. And you know, all you gotta do, just let me finish doing what I'm doing. Okay. And then say, hey, Officer Burks, let me holler at you. Okay. I have no problem. I have no problem with that, officer. Because I know that you can understand why I was saying the things that I was saying. Okay. You know what I'm saying? And that's because for real, when I'm dealing with a person, I like to have my focus on him.
You better put your bulletproof vest on, man.
I got a family. My family loves me. They want to see me home, right? I understand that. And I don't want to hurt nobody. And me talking to you, and you see how you hit me doing that. You seem aggressive. But while my focus on, I'm hesitant. I'm letting this dude try to go for a thing. You understand? I feel you. So that's all I'm saying. Okay? When you deal with him, you get in the car, you get it secured. Okay. You understand? Relax, man. You do what I ask. Thank you for being understanding. I also having a civilized conversation with me. And I appreciate you, but you know what I'm saying? You look like you had a little attitude at first, but you know what I'm saying? I thank y'all for not having an attitude and communicating with me. No. Okay. No, you made a face at me when I pulled y'all over. You started to say something about me. Once you engage these bastards, there's only one way this is going. Make a plan, then execute it. No matter how good the plan is, expect sustained resistance. Maintaining the integrity of the plane is the priority here. Don't rush this. Looks like a shit show down there. Clear the airstrip before you think about taking that bird into the sky. If the plane gets shot up, we're back to Alpha. Keep it up down there. The more noise you make at the airstrip, the more plausible the cover story becomes. I see y'all recommendation back for the building call station civilized. 56 Johnson. Okay, thank you, officer. Y'all have a blessed and safe day, man. All right, thank you, sir. Community officers. All right, 3023. Okay. Mongo cell phones are going loco, people. Expect more of them any second now. But remember, the mission is the plane.
Oh shit. Damn, man. Fuck. I guess we gotta kill everybody while we in low key there, man. Can't just jumping out there, man. Fuck. God damn, man.
take me to jail. Okay. All right. She doesn't need to come up here during the traffic stop. Hey, baby. I'll call you back. You know what I see? Yes, sir. What's your date of birth again? 7/4/81. 7/4/81? Yes, sir. Who's your partner? James. I work with him.
You got ID on you? Oh, do you suspect me of a crime? You're in the car. I didn't know who I'm dealing with. I'm James.
Yeah. What's wrong with Who? James, he ain't here with me. James got a license, don't he? Yeah, James got a license. But he don't want you to come. He don't want you to come here, baby, during the traffic stop.
Do you have a license? I refuse to answer any questions. Unless you suspect me of crime, I believe. I'm asking if you got a license. Oh, I don't answer questions. I don't answer questions unless I'm being arrested. Or unless my lawyer's present. You're detained. Okay, for what crime am I being detained for? You're in the car with him. Okay. His car is detained. I see. Am I not free to go? Not right now, because his car is detained. Okay, the car is detained, but am I detained? The car and its contents. Okay. Do you suspect me of a crime? Not as of yet, but okay, because I don't know if you realized Texas Penal Code 38.02 says unless I'm being accused of a crime or suspected of crime or a witness of a crime, I don't have to give my ID. I don't know if that's true or not. If you could,
I gave you my shit, stupid.
I understand. I'm saying he had a license, so he could drive the car off.
You got a license? Yeah, I know James got a license.
I don't.
Okay.
I don't know who he is.
Oh, you can run it. You want to tell him your name?
No. I mean, I ain't got nothing to hide, but I just don't want to give up my right if I don't have to. Hold on one second, you're on that. You better not take me to jail, man.
He gonna take me to jail for no license.
That's...
No, do you think I should do that, Judge?
Here we are, the most exciting event on TV since televised executions. Arena War, Maze Bank Arena, a fight to the death with corporate sponsors. And our sponsors have asked us to shoot anyone who doesn't stand for the national anthem. The place is electric.
You're right, Al. I saw a guy in a wheelchair crowd surfing while firing a pistol in the air, if that is not hell.
The hype is real, Violet. This match of Games Masters is set to begin as we watch contestants try for as many points as possible before total annihilation. One team goes for checkpoints. The other team tries to murder them from the spectator box.
Sponsored by the iFruit 100XZ, the only phone worth paying $2,000 for.
Respect and be attracted to you. Now, the first thing we're going to do is break down this footage right here. So let's roll the tape.
What do you say to those workers, security guards, servicing the things who are now going to that path?
All right, that's interviewer John Carl who asked that question. I want to play this before we get into the auctioneer 8 questions in 26 seconds because it kind of sets the stage for the whole thing.
I think they have been terrific. These are terrific patriots. A lot of them agree with what I'm doing. And I hope we're going to have the situation worked out. But they want security in our country, and so do I. That's all we want. We want security. We want common sense.
All right, he riddled off a lot of different things there, but he's really good at answering the question that you want to be asked. You know, basically that reporter, John, said, what would you say about these people who are not getting paid, you know, that work for the government? And as opposed to saying, you know, well, it's a shame, you know, I know their families are probably struggling, it's unexpected, how can you plan for this? He says they're great patriots. A lot of them really are behind what I'm doing. You know, so you spin it in a way of what do you think about them as far as people? Well, I think they're great people. I think they're doing a great job. I hope we get this resolved. But what is the last thing that he said there? He kind of slipped it by. Watch this again.
We want security, but they want security in our country, and so do I. That's all we want. We want security. We want common sense.
We want common sense. I noticed on a post that he had today on Facebook, he's really trying to reduce down and deduce down his ideas to the very simplest core ideas. So this one that he put on Facebook today, as you can see right here, this is a choice between right and wrong. It doesn't get any easier to digest than that. And of course, whoever side he's on is the right side. You know, the people who want to reopen the government and don't want to fund a wall, they could also deduce their arguments down to people want right or wrong. This is common sense, right? The word common sense, it's common sense to people on your side, but not common sense when they're not. But when you're speaking to your base and using terms like that, people like that. They hear that. Regardless, and I'm not saying Trump is the only one that uses it. Politicians do this all the time, no matter what side you're on. But people think, yeah, it is about what's right and wrong. It is common sense. When they're on the side of it, it makes sense. But if it was someone to say that on the other side, it wouldn't make as much sense. That's a tactic that he uses effectively in this case.
Okay. You think I should do that? No, do you think I should do that, John? I mean, I watch your one-sided reporting. Do you think I should do that? Hey, John. No, seriously, John, do you think I should just No, tell me. John, do you think I should just So you would do that if you were in my position? You'd do that. I'm asking you, would you do that if you were in my position? If you would do that, you should never be in this position.
All right, let's stop the tape right there. What do you see a lot of people do in this situation when they're going to ask a question over and over again? Their emotion escalates with each time they ask the question. Why do you not want to do that? Because anytime you show emotional reaction, it brings your status down and the person that you are reacting to's status up. I don't have time to get into that. I talk about that in a bunch of other videos. But when you watch Trump, not only is he not having heightened emotions, but he actually laughs like this kind of funny. He's not getting worked up at all. He actually poses the question one of the times in a way that it sounds like he's asking a different question, but then goes straight back to the original question. He's having fun with it. So always remember, when you're using this technique, don't get worked up, don't get emotional about it. It's not what you want to get.
I don't get this game.
All right, before we see the end of this, which he rolls out with a ton of momentum, we got to go back and watch it. 8 times he says that, and I want to break down each one because there's a lot of different things that he does when he's asking that add to the effect of it. As we go back through and watch this again, I want you to notice, as we talked about at the beginning of this video, Trump's tonality, right? He's not getting angry. He's not supplicated. He's talking with report-breaking tone. What would you do? What should I do? That's a report-breaking tone. If you don't understand the basic tonalities, you can grab a free checklist up here in the right corner. Just touch or click up here right now, and you can download it. It's going to go through the basics of tonality so you can understand what's going on to be sure that you're speaking with the right tonality for the right occasions.
You think I should do that? No, do you think I should do that, John? I mean, I watch your one-sided reporting. Do you think I should do that?
Okay, so there, he's not giving John the time to answer the question. He doesn't want a question, so he asks twice, and then he says you have one-sided reporting straight back into the question again. But on the other side, John is not answering the question either.
Man,
he's trying to talk around it, and Trump keeps cutting him off.
Hey, John, no, seriously, John, do you think I should just sign? No, tell me. John, do you think I should just sign?
So he's held his feet to the fire 5 times at this point, just asking the same question.
I'm saying if you sign that, workers can start getting paid.
So you would do that if you were in my position?
So now he tries a bit of a different angle if you were in my position. So it starts out, John, should I sign, right? Almost a little play on like, you're the big authority now. Should I do it? Like, I'm taking advice from you. You know what I mean? Like, if you're talking to a third grader and you're thinking about getting a car, and it's like some sports car the third grader loves, and you're like, Billy, do you think I should get the car? You know what I mean? You're not going to listen to him, but you're kind of playing on that, the idea of them being an authority. Should I do it? And then he moves on to, if you were in my shoes, so he tries this new technique just to kind of really hammer it in.
I'm asking you, would you do that if you were in my position? If you would do that, you should never be in this position. Because you'd never get anything done. Goodbye, everybody. Thank you very much.
Okay, you see that? That's one important thing I want you to understand. At the end of that, he has so much momentum by putting him on the spot, not getting the chance to answer, getting in his little cracks, you know, you're one-sided, all this. Would you do that? He knows he doesn't want to answer it, so he keeps hammering him with that question. Now, the momentum is so high that it only makes sense for him to end. Because if he was to keep going and keep interacting with him and going back and forth, it's not going to get any better than this. And what can you learn from that? Always leave on a high note. You can tell in conversation, when it's a combative conversation like this, you can tell when the real high note hits. Don't hang around. Don't bask in it. Listen how Trump calls this thing off as soon as he wants to.
If you would do that, you should never be in this position. Because you'd never get anything done. Goodbye, everybody. Thank you very much.
Right on to it. No chance for rebuttal or anything like that. Hey, do you have an Instagram account? If you do, I'm putting out a lot more content on there. I'm actually putting out videos almost every day that you're not going to find on YouTube, so I suggest you follow me on there if you're not right now. And I want to tell you, I went out last weekend on a date, and there were a few chairs that were open at the bar, which is kind of strange because it was kind of late at night. It was about 11 o'clock, and it was going crazy. And I went up there with my date to try to sit down and order a drink, and there was a dude there who was giving me a hard time. If you want to hear the story about how that went down and the action that I took to handle it, you can click right here to do so. I'll talk to you there. That I'm with. I said, hey, why don't we find out whose chair these are? At worst case scenario, you can probably sit in this one right here, and I'll just stand. I'll be able to get a drink and kind of get the night going and see where it goes from there. And so as we walk up there, route 66 drivers up to $100 a month in car insurance, giving you a rate based primarily on how you drive. Use salary. Drive for 2 to 3 weeks while the app ensures consistency. Focus. Teams are looking prepared.
Let's go! Watch out for that remote control car. Battle drone incoming. You got zapped with an EMP. Just a second. And down to 7. 7 left. Whoa! Out of nowhere. Drone strike. Okay, traps are on. Spectator can pull the trigger. 10 points can...
just a bill. Well, so now, of course, they're mulling an emergency situation down at the border. And so, how do you declare an emergency? Apparently, you make things up. Especially since there is no actual reason for an emergency at the border. Now, recently, President Trump, Sarah Huckabee Sanders, and Homeland Security Director Kirstjen Nielsen have been pushing a lie in which thousands of terrorists are coming into the United States through the Mexican border, the southern border. Now, recently, Sarah Huckabee Sanders had said that, pushed that lie, and was rebuked on Fox News over the weekend. I want to show you that because it's kind of awesome. Let's take a look.
The president talks about terrorists potentially coming across the border. And here is Secretary of Homeland Security Nielsen. Take a look.
City stopped over 3,000 what we call special interest aliens trying to come into the country on the southern border. Those are aliens who the intel community has identified are of concern.
But special interest aliens are just people who come from countries that have ever produced a terrorist. They're not terrorists themselves, and the State Department says that there is, quote, no credible evidence of any terrorists coming across the border from Mexico.
We know that roughly nearly 4,000 known or suspected terrorists come into our country illegally, and we know that our most vulnerable point of entry is at our southern border.
I know this statistic. I didn't know if you were going to use it, but I studied up on this. Do you know where those 4,000 people come, or where they're captured? Airports.
Not always, but certainly a large
State Department
number.
says there hasn't been any terrorists that they found coming across
It's
this
by
border
air,
from
it's by
Mexico.
land, and it's by...
Okay, that's awesome. Special interest alien, by the way. I love that term because it makes me think of like an actual alien that's giving money to the government, like for special interest. Yeah, we're so we're from the planet Zebulon 5, and we've got some money here for Congress. If you guys make sure to dig more fossil fuels and then sell it to us. That's a special interest alien to me. But apparently, we don't have the same definition. So, okay, we're having fun here. But as far as Sarah Huckabee Sanders goes, she just got schooled by Chris Wallace. Chris Wallace has apparently been in the habit of practicing journalism. Fantastic. Wow. Now, he cites the State Department that says no credible information that any member of a terrorist group has traveled through Mexico. And look, to be fair, I've been hearing that since like 2012, right? So people like who are very conservative, I should say, have been it's like, oh, but you don't understand. The terrorists are coming through Mexico. Yeah, no, they're not.
This afternoon over at the White House, President Trump said he's holding off on declaring a national emergency and demanding that Congress vote on money for his border wall. But the House Speaker, Nancy Pelosi, refusing to budge, demanding that the president reopen the government. See, as Brian Todd has more on this confrontation. Brian, president isn't used to people refusing to back down to him.
He is not, Wolf, and those who know him say the president is especially thrown off if a powerful woman challenges him. And until now, Mr. Trump has really never dealt at length with a woman as powerful and politically savvy as Nancy Pelosi.
It was a moment that confounded a president who takes joy in knocking others off balance. In the White House Situation Room, Donald Trump pressed House Speaker Nancy Pelosi on whether she would sign off on his border wall in exchange for reopening the government. But instead of backing down, as so many of Trump's opponents have done in the past, Pelosi firmly said no. That's when Trump stormed out.
Bye-bye, and I left.
And he just walked out. Again, we saw a temper tantrum.
He doesn't have another note to play. If he can't bully you, he's not quite sure how to get what he wants, and that's the conundrum that he faces. I think it's evident to everyone who's paid attention that Donald Trump has met his match in Speaker Pelosi.
It's a dynamic captured at a critical moment in the Oval Office. With the government shutdown looming in December, Trump tried to throw Pelosi off kilter by suggesting she was weak, but she wasn't having it.
You know, Nancy's in a situation where it's not easy for her to talk right now, and I understand that.
Mr. President, please don't characterize the strength that I bring to this meeting as the leader of the House Democrats who just won a big victory.
That was really a key confrontation, their first face-to-face meeting since Democrats had won the House, and it maybe has a tone that has set what's happened since then.
Veteran political watchers say the shutdown showdown has pitted the impulsive, sometimes reckless president who acts on his gut against a savvy political operator in her second term as Speaker. And so far, many observers believe Pelosi's winning. Asked if she thinks she's Donald Trump's equal, Pelosi told the New York Times coolly, quote, "The Constitution does." Biographers who know the president best say it's a bitter irony for Trump that the person who's frustrating him so profoundly at this moment is a woman.
This president doesn't respect women. He hasn't encountered one with this level of power ever before in his life, and I think he's really confused about it. This is maybe the moment that he can't bluff his way out of, and I think it's really messing with his mind.
In the past, women who've taken on Trump, like Rosie O'Donnell, have become the subject of his vicious insults.
Well, Rosie O'Donnell's disgusting. I mean, both inside and out. You take a look at her, she's a slob.
Then there are the disparaging slurs and nicknames he's directed at female critics, like Senator Elizabeth Warren.
I've got more Indian blood in me than Pocahontas.
And calling Stormy Daniels horseface. But so far, no nickname for Nancy Pelosi. Analysts say with her, Trump could be altering the pattern he's shown with strong women.
I think that President Trump does respect Nancy Pelosi and respects her power and is going to respect her more when he finds out what she's like to negotiate with.
And tonight, analysts say neither President Trump nor Nancy Pelosi can really afford to lose this epic battle. If Mr. Trump loses, he alienates his base over what could be the main reason they voted for him, that border wall, and he's weakened running for re-election. If Pelosi loses, she loses the confidence and the support of that fractious group of Democrats in Congress, and she risks ceding some of their power to go after Trump with investigations. Wolf?
And conversely, Brian, both President Trump and Nancy Pelosi can really boost themselves politically if they win.
Wolf, they both have potentially enormous wins at play here. President Trump's base will get really fired up if he bests Pelosi and gets his wall funding, and he could make gains with other Republicans. Pelosi, if she wins, well, she gives Democrats even more momentum heading into the 2020 election cycle and momentum to hold those hearings and investigate Trump.
Robinhood is an investing app that lets you buy and sell stocks, ETFs, and cryptocurrencies all commission-free. Getting started is easy, and you can invest in the companies you love in a few taps and a swipe. It's time to take control of your financial future.
We're following multiple breaking stories. President Trump is heading home from the U.S.-Mexican border right now, signaling that he's prepared to declare a national emergency to get his wall built. Let's go live to our chief White House correspondent, Jim Acosta. He's along the border in McAllen, Texas for us. Jim, so any sign of a crisis where you are?
No sign of a crisis, Wolf, and as you said, the president is on his way back to Washington after getting a look at the situation down on the border here. Earlier today, he declared that the nation is under attack here on the border, but I can tell you, Wolf, we've been standing here all day long. We don't see any sign of an attack, no sign of an invasion down here on the border, but that's not the only misleading thing the president has said today while he's been in pursuit of his border wall. With an end to the government shutdown nowhere in sight, President Trump took his quest for a wall down to the Texas border, where he claimed the nation is under attack.
And if we had a barrier of any kind, a powerful barrier, whether it's steel or concrete, we would stop that cold. We're certainly under attack by criminal gangs, by criminals themselves, by the human traffickers, and by drugs of all kinds. Much of it comes through the southern border.
But during a roundtable discussion with law enforcement officials, Mr. Trump was told some border crossers have been digging tunnels under areas where walls are already in place.
Here, this is just a couple of miles from here, from where we're standing. This is a tunnel. This is the second tunnel that recently that we have located. This is an area that we actually have wall.
The president is also trying to rewrite history, clarifying what he meant during the campaign.
I will build a great, great wall on our southern border, and I will have Mexico pay for that wall. Who's going to pay for the wall? Who's going to pay for the wall? When I say Mexico is going to pay for the wall, that's what I mean. Mexico's paying for the wall. And I didn't mean, please write me a check. I mean, very simply, they're paying for it in the trade deal.
But that's not true. Before the election, his campaign released various proposals to force Mexico to fund the wall, stating it's an easy decision for Mexico. Make a one-time payment of $5 to $10 billion. As he was leaving for the border, the president revealed that White House lawyers have told him he could declare a state of emergency to have the military build his wall, an action that would likely be challenged in the courts.
I have the absolute right to declare a national emergency. The lawyers have so advised me. I'm not prepared to do that yet, but if I have to, I will. I have no doubt about it, I will.
president is trying to have it both ways, insisting the situation at the border is an emergency while also claiming it's a crisis that started before he came into office.
Oh, it began a long time. Ask President Obama. Obama used to call it a crisis at the border, too. I think he said it in 2014. Look, you can all play cute.
Part of the reason for the president's frustration is that he can't seem to convince Democrats to agree to a wall. But reflecting on his meeting with House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer, the president argued he wasn't losing his cool.
I very calmly said, if you're not going to give us strong borders, bye-bye, and I left. I didn't rant. I didn't rave like you reported. Some of the newspapers, and then Schumer always has the standard lie. He had a temper tantrum. I don't have temper tantrums. I really don't.
Still, he said he would rather deal with China than with the Democrats.
I find China, frankly, in many ways, to be far more honorable than Brian, Chuck, and Nancy. I really do. I think that China is actually much easier to deal with than the opposition party.
Even though it's the president who once said he would be proud to own the shutdown, he is now offering his own take on Harry Truman's famous catchphrase, "The buck stops here."
The buck stops with everybody. They could solve this problem in literally 15 minutes.
Now, the president chose one of the safest places in the country to make this pitch for a border wall today. Where we're standing right here in McAllen, Texas, is one of the safest places in America. It's been that way for years. And Wolf, they are safe here despite the fact that they have a hodgepodge of different barriers between the U.S. and Mexico. Yes, you can see behind me some of those steel slats that the president talks about from time to time, but that's right next to a chain link fence that you would use in your backyard or something like that. There are also walls, there are also levees, there are also areas where you don't have much of anything, and yet the people in this community, they've been telling us all day long, they feel very safe in their hometown.
Your phone. You got your phone back on, huh?
Yeah, my battery is. What's going on?
Or died. Oh, God.
What's going on?
What you doing?
Taking care of my mom, watching movies.
Oh, okay. Oh, you was over there?
Yeah, I came over here after karaoke last night. I was too tipsy.
Oh, you was too?
I walked away to Euclid.
Where was karaoke at?
Tuckers.
No doubt. You was fucked up, huh?
Yeah, a little bit.
What you sing?
Like 4 or 5 songs. I sung Cut the Bill. Of course, Sheriff Murdoch, Monica.
Yeah,
I think I sung like 5 songs.
Yeah, I called you yesterday. I said, oh yeah, she must be out kicking it.
Oh, I had called you.
Don't ask how I got this number. We met a while ago.
Oh no, ain't no biggie. I was asleep. I ain't know no biggie. You was already out because your phone was on. So
Might have. I mean, he's really like big time, right? Major player. Yeah.
What she do?
Is my wallet in one? Here. Okay. Okay. Okay.